What's up, guys? I'm coming back at you with another video, and this one, as you can see by the title, is why I'm rich and you aren't yet. Emphasis on yet, because obviously I'm making these videos to help you guys out. I want you guys to get there. I want you to get to the point where you're driving around in supercars, you're daily driving this BMW M3 competition. It's just like, these are obviously the pillars that I see as being success landmarks, and I think a lot of you guys view it the same way. And I don't mean for this video to come across as condescending. I don't mean for this to come across as me bragging to you, because it's never the intention. At the end of the day, it's only to highlight what I've managed to achieve and what I'd love to see you guys be able to achieve in the near future. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that I'm never using it as this bragging rights or any of that. There's no point in that. I would just like to help you out. So I want to start by talking, first of all, about just kind of the generic things that make someone rich, trait-wise, mindset-wise. And I think first and foremost, mindset is the most important thing when it comes to getting rich and just being successful in general, because there are a million people out there who want to do something, who want to do the same thing. And for example, in the entrepreneurial space, there's a million people who want to do drop shipping, a million people who want to do social media marketing. And at the end of the day, not every single one of those million people could be successful, or else there would be an entire new status quo for success. So it really does kind of beg the question, what exactly differentiates that 1% who managed to succeed from the other 99% who continue and continue and continue and just fail over and over again? And at the end of the day, the most significant piece of information that I can give you is just that it comes down to mindset. There is a mindset difference that people who succeed notably have, and notice that other people don't have. And in my opinion, that's just the most determining factor on if you will end up succeeding. And from what I've kind of seen and learned, I don't think that this is something that you can necessarily learn. I think that over time you can develop this mindset if you are disciplined and if you really will yourself to be this way. But for most people, it's either you don't have it or you do. And in my case, I just fortunately happen to be one of those people who thought in this type of way. But for most people, it really comes down to just the fact that they don't have that determination, the persistence. And when they get started on something, it's like they want to do it, but they'll give themselves a week to do it. And if they're not successful within the first week, it's like they give up, and then they're on to the next thing. And I've gotten a million messages from people who are like, oh, I've tried drop shipping, I've tried SaaS, I've tried e-commerce, I've tried just every little hustle. And it's like, yeah, you tried all those things, but why didn't you just try one of those things and actually give it a thorough amount of effort? Because I didn't go around and try a million different things. I tried one thing for 6 months, made $2,000 in my first 6 months. That's enough, trust me, that is enough of a reason to quit by anyone's standards. And yet I continued to do it, and I continued to work at it, and luckily the next year after that happened to be a lot more rewarding. And so I don't mean for that to discourage you. By no means do I hope that it takes you 6 months to make your first $2,000, because I think that in this day and age, and with the amount of resources out there and just information and the amount of people who are successfully doing marketing, and more specifically in my area, content automation marketing, people like myself who have a lot of experience in the space and know exactly what they're doing, I think it's super easy for you guys to get to that 10 to 15K a month mark in exponentially faster timelines than it managed to take me. So I don't want to discourage you with the amount of time that it took me to become successful. I more so want to use that as kind of a metric for just how difficult it was for me to see my first kind of merit of success. And did I quit? No, I spent 6 months working quite literally in the trenches. I was working in my parents' basement. I'd set up a little makeshift office at the time when I was 16 years old in high school. And at the same time, I was working a 9-to-5 retail boating store job. So by no means was I handed this amazing deck of cards as far as being fortunate, being lucky, and kind of being handed that success. It did take me years and years to see the true fruits of my labor, but that really was the mindset that I walked into it with. I wasn't willing to give up. I wasn't willing to stop even when things weren't moving fast at the time. And most importantly, I just continued to try it, the same thing over and over again. And when it wasn't working, I thought about ways that I could redevelop my approach and just do it successfully. And obviously it's not going to be the same for everyone. Everyone's going to experience different trials and tribulations, different setbacks, failures, but that's a part of the process. And realistically, if you want to be successful, you have to embrace the shortcomings that you'll have as well, the failures, the setbacks, and all of that, because that's just how you learn. You're not going to learn everything through succeeding constantly. You're going to learn the most when you fail to succeed, and you have to revamp your approach. So starting off with mindset is huge. The next thing, just your ability to absorb information and listen to other people. That was something that I struggled with a lot when I first started, because I was a young guy, obviously a little bit stubborn at the time, and probably still a little bit, but like at the time, in my eyes, I was the only person that I needed to learn from. And especially when I started making money, my mindset was, oh, I don't need anyone else's help. I don't need to work with anyone else. Like, I can do this all on my own. And come to realize, like over the last year or two, I'd pushed off networking with other people so much and kind of put such an emphasis on just working solo, because I didn't see a value in working with other people. I didn't see any reason for me to basically drop what I was doing and go network with other people, go try to like learn from them. I just thought that I was good enough myself. And that was a big kind of misconception that I had about this. Like at the end of the day, I've realized that your network is quite literally everything. I would not be making as much money as I am right now if I didn't have a network of people who trust me, a network of people that I can lean on and learn from and absorb other information from and just ask for advice. Like, your susceptibility to learn from other people and just to kind of take away from relationships from other people and put a heavy emphasis on that is going to get you so much further than if you try to stick to yourself and not listen to other people and just be stubborn. Because as a young guy, I understand that like a lot of young guys, they get some type of ego when they make some type of money. When I made my first $1 million, I was very, very like self-absorbed, and I thought that I was like that guy and that no one else could put me down. And over the years, it's definitely been a maturity curve and learning curve to kind of realize that you are so insignificant in the grand scheme of like this marketing space, but just in the world in general. Like, you have to humble yourself because there are so many people doing better than you. There are so many people that you could learn valuable things from. And unless you open yourselves up to that, you're never going to get there. And that also comes down just to being able to absorb information. There is information coming at you from everywhere, including me. I am one of these sources of information. And when you're watching my videos, are you actually absorbing the content, or are you just listening to me talk? Are you just kind of using this as like this brain rot, like busy time in your day where you don't have to actually like focus or pay attention to anything? Because if you're doing it for the latter, you're doing the wrong thing. When you're watching a video like this, you should be absorbing as much of this content as possible, because I'm trying to teach you something, just like all of these other YouTube videos are out there. And no, this doesn't mean you have to go buy a course or you have to do that to like learn. There are so many free resources. There is nothing you have to pay for, any of that. So I just want to encourage you guys to be susceptible to learning from other people and absorbing information. And I guess just my last point today is just, you really have to understand the direction that you're going. So many people walk into this online space, and like I said, a lot of people are spread very thin. They don't know what they want to do. They don't know what they want their area of focus to be. And you don't necessarily have to know exactly what you want to do from the jump, but you should make it your goal to formulate some type of game plan and have a sense of direction when you're actually starting your journey, because otherwise you're just kind of treading. You're not making any forward progress. And a lot of times people who are just kind of treading in place, not moving, they're going to end up just wearing out because they realize that it's not as easy as they thought, or they can't figure out what they want to do. And so yeah, guys, I guess all in all, I just encourage you guys to really go out there with an open mind, to really try to adjust your mindset to absorb as much information as possible, listen to other people, and just realize that 99% of the luck that you see people experiencing online is a result of the culmination of hard work over years and years. And yeah, guys, without further ado, all I want to say is, if you guys are looking to get into the content automation space, I do have a few spots in my mentorship program. This is for people who are looking to scale up quickly, who want to make a lot of money in their first couple months and just really get to that point where they're making 10 to 15K a month in their first few months. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, I'll leave an application form in the description below so you can go check that out. And without further ado, guys, have a great day. Please leave a subscribe, leave a like, all that stuff. and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.